Well, good morning. Good morning. It is Hot Unmuted. I am Alice Keeler, and this
Hedrick
is
Nichols.
Hedrick. How are you this morning?
I'm fine for a Monday without coffee yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
There was an episode a while back where your background wasn't so digital. You were on the beach. Where are you today?
Well, it's funny, I was just thinking of that episode today because I could see it's weird. I could see the update to our we used to be StreamYard, now we're on Riverside, and I could see the app on my phone on my calendar, but I couldn't see it on my computer on my calendar, which was very odd. So I just,
Yeah.
I thought, "Oh, I could do it from my phone like I did on the beach." Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm home
I
in
think most of us, if not all of us, are back in school. So none of us are on the beach today. I'm home. You're home.
Yep,
Yeah.
Labor Day, the season has ended, and we are now all back in the throes of what did the numbers say and what can we do about it? You know what? This is my new mantra. There's an app for that.
There's an app. Really, there is. I mean, there's an app to go to the bathroom. I have mixed feelings about these bathroom apps, but I think it's good. I think it's good, I guess.
Wait a minute. I don't know that app. Tell me about that one. Hall
Either.
Pass. Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like for in my mind, I was thinking to remind teachers to actually go and not hold it all
Oh,
day,
I'm positive
which
there's
is
an app for that.
unhealthy. But there
Yeah.
probably is, but it's ridiculous that we actually hold it all day. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I taught
literally know people who have gone in the morning and then not again until,
I drink way too much coffee for that. I taught at a school. I was teaching seventh grade math, and they had 3-minute passing periods, and we were required to be in the hall during those 3 minutes. I'm like, when do I pee?
yep, yep, yep.
My son this morning, I was driving him to school and he was telling me of his 9 teachers, I guess they have a 9-period day. He's in 7th grade, that only 3 of them let him go to the bathroom. I doubt that's true. I do know that they do use eHall Pass, but
Yeah. I
I don't
mean,
know.
it's the amount of we have a solution for that in a is a it's great. I love the innovation. At the same time, sometimes we can just do I really need a whole digital pass to what I mean? And the thing about it is that most people who are using it are not probably well trained enough to be able if there was an issue where they removed the doors in the bathroom or there was smoking or something, how many people on campus could actually go through the e-hall pass and find out which kids were there? And
I will tell you my principal could do that.
I know,
They
okay.
swapped it tracking it down on the eHall Pass. That's why I'm saying, I'm a data person. I love data. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. And I think it's probably just school culture, the place that the school that I taught at that had eHall Pass. It just kind of became like a right to go to the bathroom in a way that, well, of course you have the right to go to the bathroom. I think all kids, that's part of my problem. It's like, they should be allowed to go to the bathroom if you need to go to the bathroom. I want to go to the bathroom if I need to go to the bathroom, but it was interrupt my lessons in ways that they felt entitled to not wait until it's an appropriate moment. Like, don't ask when I'm in the middle of it. And then I'm having to monitor, go back to my computer, fix it where I feel like in some ways the app was controlling me a little bit. So
Mhm.
before it's like, yeah, go to the bathroom, sign out in the back, and I didn't have to really worry about it or think about it. And so now that there is an app for that, it was good. And at the same time, I'm like, this is a this is more of a distraction for me in some ways, but
But
I
that's
do like having the data, I do.
I mean, I had e-hall pass. We did it. They spent so little time training us on it that it was just for me, it was an easy lift. I taught tech, but I thought, again, how many people really know how to use it? Okay, if I got this much training, maybe there was an extra hour for admin, but
Right.
with all of the different things that by the time they needed it, the training was long gone out of their brains. But I wanna go back to the bathroom thing because that is always a big thing about teachers, and I was the "No, you cannot go to the bathroom during my class."
Oh, you were. See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, "Please go to the bathroom."
No,
No.
let me give you some context.
Control, bathroom passes for everybody.
No,
I'm like
no,
Oprah.
nope, nope, nope. Very structured classroom, a lot of student-centered freedoms, but built on a very structured classroom, and so I greeted my kids at the door every day.
Yeah.
I'm standing at the door, and our first interaction was this or that. That's my favorite thing. And so here it is. Let's play this or that. McDonald's or In-N-Out?
Oh, it's easy, McDonald's. I think In-N-Out's overhyped. Now, the world hates it.
Okay, we'll talk about, we'll have to come back to that one because I'm such an In-N-Out girl. That's the
I
only
mean, you're
fast
from
food place.
Texas. Shouldn't you be all about Whataburger?
Whataburger? No. I know they're gonna take my Texas card. Absolutely not. But anyway, I
Yeah, I lived
digress.
in California for 30 years.
Yeah, no,
But
I
I'm
like
trying to think of how many times I'm like, "Oh, let's go to In-N-Out." Now, when I lived in Seattle, the In-N-Out shirts were all the rage, and so when I moved to California, I might have go to In-N-Out, but, like, I don't know. I mean, it's not bad, it's good.
I know, I like their burgers. So, okay, but so I would speak to every kid going. And the thing was, tap me on while we are saying our favorites. Please go to the restroom now because we did have one of those 3-minute passing periods, which is ridiculous. Please go to the restroom now, and I will wait to start instruction until we're all here.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. And there was every now and then there was an emergency, and I would say, okay, go. But if you're gone more than 4 minutes, because the bathroom, my class was next to the bathroom. If you're gone more than 4 minutes, you got to pay it back at lunch. And they would go and they come right back.
Yeah.
Now, context for that. In all of my illustrious years of teaching, there was the kids. We're not even talking about some of the, it smells like somebody's been vaping. Not even that. We're talking, oh, there's a challenge on TikTok. We're
Yeah.
going to remove all the doors from the bathroom. That's actually what prompted the whole e-haul. The
I was
TikTok
gonna say,
revolution prompted the e-haul thing.
the problem is the challenges. I was talking to some kids just this last weekend who were talking about the ones who are doing the recent challenge of jamming up the Chromebooks. I'm like,
And
we
I
need
had,
to be having
and I
this
had a,
conversation often about if you're doing, TikTok challenges are just a reality of teaching these days.
but this particular year, the last year that I was here, hall passes for everybody, was a year that two students had and this is my own trauma, I will admit that, but two students had a kind of a suicide pact, and there was cutting involved and self-harm, and it was a whole thing around those two students and other students joining in. And after, I thought, my God, there were so many rules. I remember talking to the administrator talking about when they can go to the bathroom and how they can go to the bathroom, and then there has to be a mind. Like, my God, this is the safety level of safety that I'm responsible for my students. Okay, no,
Yeah.
they're going to the bathroom. I'm in the hall and I'm waiting on them until they get back. They're coming right back to me. They're not wandering the halls. They are safe. And so that's why I got into you go right now. If you go right now, I'll hold the door and you can come on back
Yeah.
and we can all be together. And so that's how I got to that point. So, I mean, I will say, sometimes I don't get to go whenever I want. Because I had conversations with my 6th and 7th graders. Well, that's ridiculous. That's not right. I said, no, it's not. When do I get to go? Well, you're the teacher. You can go. I don't think so. I can't go. And if I'm in the car stuck in traffic, I can't go. So you do have to know you can hold it for 45 minutes. You had the chance at the beginning and at the end, and I do understand that a lot
All
of
right.
schools have
I'm going to say this last bit of TMI, and then we're going to switch topics.
Okay, wait. I know. I'm just saying that I know that administrators. Wait. Administrators who always say no people in the hall at the beginning and the end. Please recognize if you have a 3-minute class period changeover, that's really a bit ridiculous because a lot of times that's the only time when they can't go to the bathroom. Okay, good.
So let's switch the topic to number one. I don't want to be an administrator. Thank you to all of you who pick up that mantle. That is that is a hard no-win job in a lot of situations. There is no winning, and I appreciate those who do that. Take any argument, you can make an argument for it, against it. Like just even with the bathrooms or whatever, there's good reasons to not have kids in the hall, and there's reasons they need to be. And then what are we gonna do? But I just want to teach. Don't we all feel like that? Like, I just want to teach. I don't want to be responsible for every single little thing. And I feel like a lot of things it's hard. It's hard. So teachers will handle it. It's hard. We don't know what to do. Well, teachers will handle it. And it just feels like it just keeps coming down. And I think the hall pass was intended to solve some of that, is to help us. And then also with the TikTok challenges or whatever. But there's the splashback. So what is your number one thing you think keeps you from, can I just teach? I just want to teach. Can I just teach? There's so many. Which one you want to choose from, right? Okay, change the topic.
Nope. I'm going to say because I had to backtrack and see. because the first answer, I won't even say what the first answer in my mind was, but, I think I am going to say, and this is going to sound really harsh, but I think I can stand by it. I wish there was a parenting class that was mandatory, that we all had. We learn history. We learn history. This is what we are supposed to believe about these things. I wish there was a class like that for parenting, so that just some that we had some sense of commonality, just some. I know that it is it's a freedom. I'm not talking about impairing the rights of parents or infringing on them, but I do feel that a lot of time is spent on kids that say, "You can't ban my phone. My mama said I can call her whenever I want to." Or
I mean, in those instances, I don't know about my mandatory parenting classes. I do have some strong feelings on that. I don't want the government to tell me what to do, and the school is the government. Public schools are the government. There is the need to have an orderly, I need to be able to teach. And I definitely have these situations where kids my mom said, has some fun stories. I
and
have
you
some not
call
fun
mom,
stories
and
with
mom
my kids
really
doing
did
that.
say, and you get taken to task
But,
by mom.
that's a different conversation is whether or not they need a parenting class versus the parent has to be called in when the kid's being a major disruption. Or
Or
they're
how
not
about
just
this?
being
An expectations class for parents at your school. These are the expectations that we have for you. If your children are at this school, these are our expectations. This is how we handle our teachers. This is how we handle conflict. This is the handbook that y'all were supposed to read. We're going to go through that with you. And so once you
this is
sign
what you're
this,
supposed to read. Okay.
yeah. No, just so we talk about some of the major things with parents so that they know the expectations. And then if you don't want your kid at this school, then take them to another school. Go
No,
to another
no,
school.
no, no, no,
Yes.
nuh-uh, you're
Yes.
not getting me on that one.
Yes.
You don't like our rules. You don't like how we do things here. Take your kids somewhere else. It's public school. It's public school. I live in this neighborhood. This is where my house is. These are the kids that we teach.
But
You don't get to
but
pick
then what
and
do you do about, like, for example, I resent that why are you gonna ban books? If you don't want your kids to have access to those books, then tell your kids not to read it. So,
that's different.
but
I
that's what
agree
I'm
with
saying, and
that.
if you do not want those, if you don't want that book or those particular class or that history lesson, then take your kids out of the school because it
No,
is public school. Yeah, it is public school.
no.
We can't give
No,
everyone
right.
what they want.
First of all, I'd like to say my child, he's 13, for the first time ever, loves math class. And I just want to emphasize how much we all know that having a great teacher makes an impact. I worked with him one summer and he was making really good progress. I know he's good at math. We're all math people, right? But with some worksheet drill and kill, he just didn't like it, and we give kids the impression that school is not for them. So, or that math is not for them. But I forgot my point here. We were talking about if you don't like it, leave. But okay, right. So so I don't like. So there's been some classes that my son has been in where I didn't like the style of math instruction. It was a lot of worksheets, and I didn't like it. I guess my choice is I can homeschool him myself, and I don't want to do that.
Right.
For the most part, not always, but for the most part, suck it, Alice, because you're one person, you're one parent, and they got the whole class. And then there's the district curriculum. And honestly, that's the responsibility of the site administration to be monitoring the curriculum and some of those things. And if I feel that something is really damaging or this is not the standards, maybe I'll mention something. But for the most part, I have to stay out of it. So, there is that balance. There
But
is that
that's my
balance
point. That's
to
exactly where
say,
we all need to be, Alice.
mm,
And you asked why can't I just teach? Because I spend a lot of time on the phone explaining to parents the thing you just said, that I would love to be able
sure,
to do that for your student, but I have 186 kids on my roster and
yeah,
I owe them the same experience.
I
And
agree.
so what I do for you, but I don't care. It's just my child. I understand that. And I would feel the same about my child, but I have to feel the same that about every child like that. And so I stand by that if something is really a problem, instead instead of being a problem for the ecosystem, then look for other options. I think that is fair to say for you, for your student, and for all the other students who are under that infrastructure. Again, I
All
don't
right,
like,
well,
don't feel
I'll frame
guilt.
it from this angle. I'm a no homework kind of gal. I have a book that I wrote with Matt Miller. Ditch that homework. It's just whatever. I don't assign homework. So some parents, they want their kid to have homework. Well, knock yourself out. Here's the topic: quadratic formula worksheet. It's there. Like whatever. It's easy to find. If you want to give your kid homework and you want to grade it and you want to do those things, good for you. I'm not going to give myself extra work because you want your kid to have extra work, but you're not going to take on extra work. Pass.
But that's my point. And as long as I have a parent who I can explain that to and we have one conversation, that's fine. But if I have 36 kids in a classroom, and yes, that has happened more than
Oh,
once
yeah.
in my
Yeah.
career.
40 kids in
Um,
a
and I have to
California geometry class is normal.
and I have to have 3 conversations a week that are like this, then we're doing a disservice to 183 of the 186.
The problem here is that these are necessary conversations. We talk all the time, call parents, build partnerships with parents, do all of these things. That takes time. That literally is not scheduled into my day. Like, how many times is that 30 minutes before school, 30 minutes after school, your planning period? And I am team duty-free lunch. So I'm not even going to mention that. How many times have those been hijacked from you?
I can tell you about I
Not
can tell you
all
how
of
many
them,
times
but it
I had a
sure feels like it
planning
sometimes.
period? What's that? You mean coverage for teachers who we couldn't find subs for?
All of it. Like, well, let's have a meeting during your prep period. Well, when am I supposed to prep? Because by the way, my prep period is inadequate to prep. So the problem is that there's just like a lot of compromises that have to be made in the constraints that we have. Although I will, to my last dying breath, say teachers deserve 3 hours a day without students, not in a meeting. You want these things, give them the time to do it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's an investment. That's how we have, it just bothers me is the kids that don't connect with school, they failed a class or whatever, then we just put them online on some stupid computer program with the worst possible curriculum. And what they really need is the best instruction, not the worst instruction. You know, we're in this movement towards letting AI do stuff, and I am terrified that this is how we're going to solve the teacher shortage. I'm
Well, what do
sorry,
you think
the
is
low
that's
respect, low pay shortage.
well, what that's what we've done with EdTech. So why wouldn't we do that with AI? It's just EdTech.
Okay, like all of it. So my fear is that's how we're going to solve the teacher shortage when the value of what teachers bring to the table, that humanizing element, being able to make those adjustments and those things that we want to have a real person to have a conversation with. You have an issue with the curriculum, go ahead, call the AI.
You know what? There it is. And we are at time, but that's what I think. There is the solution. There's an app for that. Here's the
There's
deal.
an app
What
for that. If you want to have a complaint with your child's AI teacher, call the teacher. Call AI.
No. If you want to have a complaint with your regular teacher, call AI instead. All right, we gotta go. We are over time, but I think we'll pick it up here next week. Thank you so
Next week.
much and
Who knows
happy
what we'll
back.
talk about next week? Bye, friend. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.